Ladies and gents, welcome back, your lovely faces, and to be honest with you, this is actually a video I didn't think that I would be making now, if that makes any sense. I thought something like this would have happened maybe in the future, but not at this exact time frame. And what we are talking about is this. YouTube warns UK creators over government's new content control rules. And this is actually something very, very serious, which this could change how YouTube is ran here in the UK. And to cut a long story short, this is basically turning it into like China or North Korea, where the UK government, they want only BBC, ITV or Sky News or whatever to be the news that you get, not independent journalists, not people like myself who will talk and show you what is actually happening. They want to run it how they want to run it and basically show you propaganda. That's what this all is at the tail end of it. But what it goes down with is, as we go into it, the UK government is facing backlash over its proposed YouTube algorithmic changes, sparking fear of state-controlled content. So with that part by there, and this is actually a huge thing, state-controlled content. In China, YouTube, Facebook, these sort of websites and apps and everything else, these social media places, they're not actually allowed in China because it goes against the Chinese government and it can make people go on about certain things. The controversy stems from Britain's plan for a public consultation entitled "Watch This Space, a New Strategic Direction for UK Media," revealing a shift in how audiences consume news. Public service broadcasters ITV, BBC, Channel 4 and Channel 5 have raised the concerns over growing influence of algorithmic-driven social media content over high-quality journalism. Yeah, you know, the high-quality journalism where, something like this, where they actually posted someone's photo that wasn't this person. Or how about we talk about Dan Wootton? He was the editor of The Sun for a number of years, and as you can see by here, he did a lot of other seedy things. Oh, Dan Wootton again. You know, GB News star Dan Wootton unmasked and cashed for this catfishing scandal. How about Jade Goody? This poor woman, she was ridiculed and just everything in the UK media because it's high quality journalism. How about Caroline Flack? Caroline Flack, she was driven to sadly self-delete herself because of people like Dan Wootton and what they were putting out. The Daily Mail, the Telegraph, hell, the Times, the Sunday Times, the Sun, Daily Mirror, you name it. All of these high-quality journalism places, they're the ones who went out of their way to destroy the lives of just a few of the people that I've showed you. Jade Goody and Caroline Flack. Hell, even the man where the Sun posted the wrong photograph of someone who they called was this horrible, horrible thing. And, you know, when we actually go back into this one, this is Rebecca, I can't remember her surname, but she stopped with the Sun and then she came back as the editor and everything else. But they were forced to make an embarrassing apology after naming and shaming the wrong man as an offender. It's these sort of things, you know, that they want to say to you is high quality journalism. But we all know for a fact it's not, and they just do not like it. The government and the media, they do not like it because, well, people are not buying their newspapers. People are not going onto their social media because, and when they do, we've recently seen it here in the UK on Instagram and on X, Twitter, where you got news organizations, they have put down so many things and they've turned off the comments. That should not be allowed because they're just putting out these things that they want people to see. To tackle this issue, the government is exploring the ways to increase the prominence of these broadcasters on social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube. As per the administration, the primary objective of algorithmic changes is to ensure that authoritative news remains accessible to the public in transparent ways. And recently with this, we have seen so many people. Here in the UK, I'll give you an example. There was a Palestine Muslim whatever the other day, and a guy was walking along and he was being filmed, and all he said was that their prophet was a bad person. I'm not going to use the words. And, that he allows, people to marry 9-year-olds and all this, which they do. That is actually in their Bible, the Quran. And this guy got arrested for it. But at the same time, you had these people who were shouting and chanting, die, murder them, and everything else. And none of them got arrested. Why not? If this guy can go around and say, oh, well, Muhammad is X, Y, and Z, and then he gets arrested, what about the people who are saying die, die, and all this kind of stuff, but they don't get arrested? This is why the UK government and the broadcasters, they don't want that to be seen, because again, it goes against their narrative. But we got by here now, Basil the Great, which he put it out there that the changes have ignited as YouTube has issued the alert to online creators like myself. We've had emails for this. And as you can see, about the changed discoverability of their content. So breaking, UK government to take control of YouTube algorithm. This is pure authoritarianism, which it is. Keir Starmer, Andy Burnham's government is set to control the YouTube algorithm by law, stipulating that they must push approved content to UK citizens, which, as we all know, with that there, they just want people to see what they want you to see. And that is one of the biggest things going. Who would have thought 20 years ago that the UK, once the biggest country in the entire world and who ran the world, would become something like this and ran by people who are too afraid just to go against someone because someone called me a name, arrest them. They haven't got any balls. But if we actually just go on to what the YouTube has actually sent to everyone, it's absolutely just mad. So I will read this side first and then I'll move myself on over. The UK government is running a public consultation called Watch This Space, a new strategic direction for UK media. The proposals include mandatory changes on how content is discovered on YouTube. This could direct audiences away from your channel. Yes, exactly. As a UK creator, this directly impacts your future. Digital content discovery works best when driven by user choice, not legal requirements. That part there is just it. By user choice, not legal requirements. This is a vital window for you to share your perspective before the consultation closes on the 31st of August. Impact of the proposed rules. The proposed new rules include a mandatory prominence regime. This could require digital platforms like YouTube to prioritize and give a privileged position to traditional broadcasters like BBC, ITV, Channel 4, in user interfaces and recommendation feeds, potentially pushing your content out of sight. Mandating prominence to traditional institutions will impact all other independent digital creators, production companies, and media cos, including through, which I'll just move myself over here for you guys, your content will be downranked. Pushing this group forward means pushing everyone else downward. Mandatory prioritization of broadcasters would affect how your content reaches your audience, regardless of what your audience actually wants to see. Reducing user exposure to diverse content and independent creators, like myself. Mandating prominence for established media networks would push the UK's diverse mix of independent journalists, educating and digital-first businesses down the line. Threat to reach and channel growth. Your ability to organically grow your community generate views and revenue, and build a sustainable business is compromised if your content is hard to be discovered. And last but not least, undermining the creator-audience bond. The consultation repeatedly emphasizes trust in the context of legacy broadcasters, implying that digital-first voices are less credible, damaging the foundational trust that sustains the creator economy. Now, with this, we have seen so many times where the way the actual broadcasting people want you to see and want you to actually go out there and be like, oh, we want you to see this, say this, see this. We wouldn't have so many outcomes because of online independent creators like myself. For starters, who can remember the Johnny Depp AH trial? You had people blaming online creators like myself who showed people what the texts actually said, what the videos actually said, and you had heard people going, oh, it was won over by people on social media. That's because they wanted to control the narrative. They're the ones who wanted people not to see the videos, not to hear the audio tapes. This is the problem. And that's just one thing that was huge a couple of years ago. Right now, we have got people like Dan Wooten, who was kicked off media, remember, because of the lies he told. And these are the people the government want to push forward. The places, the legacy media. Right, okay, we need to have this out there first. No. I'm sorry, but this is becoming more and more like North Korea than North Korea. This is the problem. And going forward, it's not going to help anyone. And seeing how YouTube is kind of standing up for it, because even they're like, well, you know, we got rid of the dislike button because our video got downvoted into oblivion. They're, I think, was it 2018 or 2019 rewind? But then you also got people like the BBC here in the UK who the government want the BBC and Sky News to be front and centre because they can control what people see. Here in the UK, so many people do not trust the BBC anymore because they have hidden in the past known monsters. Jimmy Savile. You also had the Welsh guy, Howard. Was it Howard? Anyway, I can't remember. He was the news guy he was the one who they called, yes, he was there when, you know, he reported on the Queen's death. Well, I found out that he was someone, you know, trying to get underage boys, you know? That's how bad the BBC are. And seeing this, it kind of makes you think that the BBC, the government, they just don't want independent people digging around and saying, look what these people are doing. Look at this. We have the evidence. And to be honest with you, I know a handful of people out there who have got quite a bit of evidence that could actually damage the government. It is what it is. I've spoken to people who have it, and again, they were the ones who said this was coming out. They're the ones who said this was going to happen, and it is. It is happening. And it's absolutely disgusting. It really is. And as we just go down the rest of this article, you know, another one wrote about regarding this. Perhaps the British government should launch its own social media channel and butt out of everyone else's. Exactly. Another one commented, freedom of speech is yet again being attacked. Creators must submit their proposals via the official UK government website no later than August 31st, which I will show you this one now. So this is the government website, and as you can see, watch this space, a new strategic direction for UK media, green paper and public consultation. And what is really funny about it is, if you actually just have a look, I'll just blow this up a bit more for you as well, of what he says. Like, literally, by here. Like many of us, evenings in my home growing up were often spent gathered around the living room TV set. Whether that was the whole family glued to the Generation game or Noel's house party on Saturday night or cheering on Scotland in the football. Our media is a central part of our civic realm. High-quality TV programs, like culturally relevant drama and comedy, provide common references and help shape attitudes to social issues. Trustworthy news. Subject to rigorous editorial standards. Yeah, you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. They got this by here. Trustworthy news. It's not trustworthy. It's the government. The government never says what they're doing about anything to anyone. They just want people to know and hear what they want people to know and hear. And it says about, subject to rigorous editorial standards. Yeah. When you got the editor, like Dan Wooten, the one who went out and destroyed so many lives, he destroyed Caroline Flax, he put out those horrible things regarding Lily Allen. Lily Allen has come out and stated regarding it that everything that has been said in the media is a lie. Why do these people do it? Well, they want to sell news. That is why. And it does just go on. The broadcast of national moments. Yeah, the Olympic Games. Okay, yeah. International sporting fixtures. Yeah, okay, good. But what's that got to do with YouTube? They just don't want people to look into this too much because, as we go down, people are going to look at this and go, oh, I can't be bothered to read all of this. That's the thing. And when you look on the side of what all of this is, it's like, yeah, people do not want to read it. And if we just go out, and if we, just move myself back a bit for you guys, you've got all of these. It's so much. People do not want to read all of this and be like, oh my God. And it's interesting to see because these people, they don't want to be like, oh, yes, we need to get this out there. They just want to control what you see. They want to control what you hear. And they want you to believe what they're telling you. It's a bit like a magician. Look what I'm doing over here, but don't look at this hand. That's what they're doing. And the way they're going to try and do it, it's absolutely disgusting and it's not going to work. It's really not. But what I will do, guys, I will leave a link to the full article if you want to read it down below in the description box. But yeah, I thought I'd just get this out there, show you what is actually going on here in the UK. And I actually urge you, if you do not use a VPN, sign up to one right now. You need to. Because it's not going to get any better for the UK. It's really not. Keir Starmer, he's just, him and his little munchers, people he's got around him. Yes, he's going, but the policy's still going to be there. This is the problem. But guys, let us know what you think about this down below. As always, my name is Dan. Take care, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.